business and improving competitiveness. On his part, Ambassador Jan Sadek congratulated President Museveni upon his election victory and raised Uganda's growing influence in the region and internationally. Sadek said that European Union is celebrating 50 years of partnership with Uganda and is looking at strengthening cooperation in trade, investment and infrastructure over the coming decades. According to the ambassador, trade between Uganda and the European Union has grown from 500 million euros to 1.5 billion euros, with the partnership now extending beyond donor support into trade and investment. He said that the European Union continues to support Uganda in infrastructure, hydropower, education, tourism, health, sports, and the creative industry, including preparations for the AFCON 2027. Robin Nabanja has today visited the affected community who were evicted from Rubiji wetland last week. Nabanja informed the affected people that she had been sent by the president to give them relief support.
On Friday last week, the National Environment Management Authority NEMA evicted 80 households who allegedly encroached on the wetland in Rubiji. According to Prime Minister Robin Nabanja, these were given a notice by NEMA in 2024, but they ignored the warning.
So I'm here as the Prime Minister of Uganda to support them at least with survival. That's all. But they are aware that they were in this place illegally.
However, the Prime Minister today visited the locals to provide them with relief support from the President.
I'm here for humanity. I'm here to give compassionate relief support to people to survive, because since when they were evicted 5 days ago, some of them claim they don't have what to eat. So my being here is well known by the President. If anything, he's the one who has allowed me to come here and give compassionate support. And this support is coming from Mzee.
She, however, warned them never to encroach on wetlands again.
And yet, these people knew that this place had been condemned. It's a wetland. I want also to condemn the LOC1, and this must stop, who connive with people to sell land, illegal land, in wetlands. Those will be arrested. Mukama wange President abagambye abagala nnyo naye abantu balina okuva mu ntobazi n'agamba ababasenza wano amateeka gajja kubavunaana. Tewali kubatira ku liiso.
Later, the Prime Minister took them to her office in Kampala after scrutinizing the list of the affected people to provide a relief support of 1 million shillings each.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has revealed that 4 of the recently appointed ministers have issues with citizenship. Out of the 4, 1 holds 3, while the rest hold dual citizenships. Tayebwa asserts that the victims have expressed willingness to denounce the other citizenship in order to proceed to serve Ugandans. The law of the land does not cater for persons of Uganda with citizenship of other countries to serve in the key positions, including President, Vice President, Prime Minister and Cabinet Ministers, among others. The fate of the victims now waits the appointing authority to decide upon receiving the report of the Appointments Committee of Parliament.
Banyarwanda is one of the tribes in Uganda, so Nange is one of those tribes. So as simple as that.
So you're not a national?
No, I'm not a Rwandese. Now, what when Yaula a Rwandese and a Munyarwanda.
Dr. Lawrence Muganga was designated by the President to serve as the Minister of State for Internal Affairs in the forthcoming cabinet. Muganga agrees to hold more than 1 citizenship at the time of the appointment.
I mean, before I came in here, I definitely had two citizenships. That's the Ugandan citizenship and the Canadian citizenship. Like every young person who really aspires to do better, you leave this country and you go to different countries.
Dr. Muganga, the Vice-Chancellor of Victoria University, is among the appointed ministers whose citizenship have been questioned to be contrary to the laws of the land.
Before I became a Canadian, I was Ugandan. And I'm proud to be Ugandan. And I love my country. So even if I remained with one citizenship and it is Uganda, I'll be very, very proud.
Adonia Ayebare, who was offered the docket of the Minister for Foreign Affairs, is another victim.
All the sectors.
But do you have a dual citizenship?
No. No, it doesn't even matter. It was not raised, it didn't matter. We really concentrated on the portfolio, on the sector I'm going to lead. And they were really worried that we are not coordinated well as a government when it comes to major challenges facing the world.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, revealed that the Appointments Committee of Parliament found out that 4 of the recently appointed ministers hold more citizenships other than Ugandan.
And I can, without fear of contradiction, inform you that the 4 colleagues who had been, whom we found, because we did a verification with the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and we discovered that we had 3 colleagues who had dual citizenship and 1 colleague who had multiple citizenship.
Uganda's constitution does not cater for a Ugandan with citizenship of another country to serve in key positions including President, Vice President, Prime Minister and Cabinet Minister, among others.
And all of them have brought records renouncing their citizenship of the other countries. They have taken a patriotic step of choosing Uganda above all, especially, you know, these are painful decisions that are made. Some of these people, they have families in those countries. Whatever they've been making in those countries, they send back to Uganda to develop Uganda. So, but they've taken a painful decision of renouncing.
The Appointments Committee of Parliament is yet to understand the next course of action after forwarding a report to the appointing authority.
If there can be proof that this person has renounced citizenship of these other countries, now they are solely citizens of Uganda, then we can discuss other issues. Do they have the competence? Do they have etc., etc.? But for as long as that box has not been ticked, it becomes problematic for all those who are concerned in that regard.
Whether or not the appointed ministers successfully pass through the controversy, it remains a food for thought.
If I became a minister, there is a law, there is a constitution, there is an act that, of course, is guided by the constitution, and we have to follow the law. You don't have to really re-engineer anything. You follow the law.
Parliament has concluded the vetting process of the recently appointed ministers, with 80 of them successfully vetted.
Not going into names, whoever we have approved, whoever we have not approved, you can look at all of them suspiciously. Okay? You can be looking at all of them suspiciously or all of them positively. That's what I can say.
The other is something, again, that I've talked about, that we are mooting, a public participation law, to say the public should be a lot more involved in whether it be the bills that are brought to Parliament. This quickly passing them, they get 1 or 2 people, entities to give their views. No, the public should be fully consulted deliberately, even if it is the budget process, that the public gets to participate and write or give their views to say, for us, we think more money should be put in this area.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
The Appointments Committee of Parliament, headed by the Speaker, Jacob Oboth, has vetted individuals said to have issues of dual citizenship. According to those interviewed, the issue of law was not a crucial matter in the vetting committee, but their capability to run the ministry is designated to them.
Individuals appointed to different ministerial positions by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda, have been vetted by the Appointments Committee of Parliament on second and last day.
Creates funds for every sector, and I requested them that this time round we must consider the issue of housing as very critical, and not only housing but more of affordable houses, and also the issue of institutional housing. We talked about the houses, for example, for the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament.
Moving from where we are now, about $60 billion of GDP, to $500 billion by 2040. And that's a big milestone. So it has to involve a lot of planning in there to ensure that there's coherence in our policy actions.
I've seen the performance of education. I've seen that UPE schools are still not the best. Private schools are still doing better than the UPE schools. The structures of schools are very poor.
Those that are said to have dual citizenship have also been vetted. Adonia Ayebare, Minister for Foreign Affairs designate, says he's to ensure there is a whole government approach in handling issues of foreign policy.
The issue was how do we manage Uganda's foreign policy? You know, with the global challenges, Ebola, global health, climate change, peace and security, all the regional issues, but also Uganda's image abroad. A journalist for many years, but I've been a diplomat for 27 years. So my experience at the UN and in the region will come in.
The first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs designate, Rebecca Kadaga, has been vetted, and her focus is on constructing more borders and decongest the one of Busia.
But I'm planning to move to all the capitals to make an appeal to ensure that money is found by all these governments, because they are partners and they will enjoy the services, but they should also contribute. It cannot be, 4 countries cannot be doing the work and the other 4 are just riding on their backs.
Allion Odria, appointed Minister for ICT in charge of national guidance, has also been vetted. He's to continue fighting corruption, but this time digitally.
Are going to see that we improvise softwares that we can use to fight corruption through communication, whether it is through phone call or bank systems. These are the softwares I look forward to see that we really fight corruption in this country. And I'm not going to only do that within my ministry, to look at across, because I'm the Minister for National Guidance.
The docket of public service has been known for having ghosts, selling of jobs, and a lot of people serving in acting capacity. Lydia Wanyoto Mutende has been vetted as State Minister for Public Service designate.
My contribution as a policy maker, I become the role model of no corruption and no sleep. We have to work. If people are acting, we should confirm with them. If they don't confirm, they must leave, they don't qualify. If there are jobs, we should advertise. And we are going to go digital. The payroll cannot have ghost workers.
Other individuals that have been vetted on the last day include Nyamutoro Fiona, Haruna Kasoro, and Peter Ogwang. These all await results from the committee to be sworn in as ministers. I'm Nafka Farida and Dan Lukomwa at Parliament.
The Ministry of Health has appealed to all health workers to exercise infection prevention and control measures while handling patients during the ongoing Ebola outbreak.
The Director of Policy, Research and Advocacy at the Private Sector Foundation Uganda, Dr. Julius Byaruhanga, says the reporting on Ebola cases has created a distorted perception of Uganda's public health situation and poses a direct threat .
Uganda is currently experiencing a spillover of the Ebola outbreak from the DRC, prompting heightened vigilance in preparedness, contact tracing, testing, among other measures to curb further spread. Experts in Uganda are also studying the current Ebola strain, noting that while it resembles the Ebola individual strain, it is genetically distinct.
Our capacity has gone even beyond just testing. So we are able to do even what we call genomic sequencing, and we are able to link. So all our cases, because that's important for the outbreak, if you have cases which you are not able to know their link, then it means you are not in control. So we are able to link that, like we know like case 002, there were 2 people who acquired infection from case 002. The other cases got infection from case, the probable case, who passed on. So we're able to do that, and that capacity is. We also were able to show that this virus, whereas it's close to Ebola Bundubujo of 207 and 208, is completely also different. So it means that probably it's a new zoonotic spill which was from the environment.
The Ministry of Health has now appealed to all health workers to exercise infection prevention and control measures while handling patients in this season of Ebola outbreak, since 5 health workers are on the list of the confirmed Ebola cases.
We emphasize on hand washing, sanitizing, because the capsule of the virus gets destroyed by soap, gets destroyed by what? Sanitizer. So when you practice those few and then you put on POPs, put on gloves, if you do that, then you're able to do what? But bottom line, definitely, that while we're emphasizing that is because we want to make that other services should be able to continue. A mother who needs to deliver should be able to deliver.
Yeah.
Anybody needs an operation to be able to operate. So, but at the same time, they should be able to look at what's the travel history of the patient, what is the patient presenting with.
Yes, of course, Ebola is a dangerous disease, as we all know it, but there should be no panic in the public. What we require everybody to do, like we have said, is to, first of all, you Ugandans out there, listen to the messages which are being aired on radios, on television, and the other media platforms, to know the do's and the don'ts. The do's and the don'ts. When you are gathered in small functions or any gathering, ensure that there are these SOPs, hygiene and sanitation measures should be in place, like hand washing, using a sanitizer, and so forth. And the health workers, for them, they know what to do. They have protective gear.
As of May 2nd, 2026, Uganda had reported 15 confirmed Ebola cases with 668 contacts under monitoring. Adia Nakote, UBC.
The Minister-designate for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Frank Tumwebaze, has threatened to lay off reluctant veterinary and community development officers across the country. Tumwebaze told UBC that although government enhanced their salaries, many have not delivered.
On Monday, 1st June 2026, the designate Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Frank Tumwebaze, appeared before the Appointments Committee of Parliament for vetting. President Yoweri Museveni appointed Tumwebaze to Cabinet on the 26th May 2026.
I had just returned from the farm. We were not much a surprise, but it was also not something we knew would take for granted.
Tumwebaze told UBC that he was honored to be posted back to the Ministry of Agriculture.
And I thank God and I thank the President for retaining me in this sector, which is considered one of the biggest sectors of the economy, by virtue of its employment potential. It employs over 70% Ugandans.
Tumwebaze singles out the parish development model program as one which has improved farmers' gardens.
Big monies are in the parishes. It's a revolving fund. So I consider that a big milestone.
Frank Tumwebaze has led the agriculture sector, where both medium and large-scale farmers have benefited from government funds.
So it's not been accidental that our coffee volumes have gone up. 8.8 million bags exported. 8.8 million bags exported, bringing in $2.4 billion last financial year. And that's export alone, not the other coffee here we use in other means. So perhaps we could have gone into 9 million bags or close to 10.
Minister Tumwebaze further reports about an increase in cocoa and milk production.
And because of that, the milk prices have been stable. This I can talk without fear of any contradiction. In the cattle corridor, milk has been stable, 1,000. In the most rural areas, 900.
This time round, the ministry, he says, will double efforts in agitation for irrigation, fertilizer uptake and enforcement of standards.
We are also trying to confront the challenge of irrigation. We are still very low at the level of irrigating our gardens and perhaps fertilizer uptake. Now, the reason for that, it's not because the government neglected the farmers. Before, there was no need. The rains were predictable. The 2 seasons where the rainfall amounts were okay.
To the sugarcane growers in Busoga sub-region, Minister Tumwebaze advises a shift to other ventures.
Busoga is going to be Busoga, Bukedi, and many other lowland areas will be the targets for this aggressive fish farming.
Minister Frank Tumwebaze, however, warns extension workers and community development officers who operate in shadows.
You are paid to do work, you don't do it, and you're well paid. The president increased the salary of scientists. An extension worker, the salary was doubled. We've been giving them pikipikis. I think in the last 5 years in this ministry, we've given almost 2,000 motorbikes to the sub-counties, and we continue to prioritize their means of transport. But you wonder, farmers call me directly. We are suffering from CBPP. We are suffering from FMD. The vets are there. The CDOs are there. So it's really a question of everybody waking up.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu ya kusabula. Mikono tu, free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
In a fast-moving world, why are we still stuck with paperwork? Signing here, stamping there, moving from office to office. It's exhausting. Now, there's a better way. With UG Pass, you can securely prove your identity, sign documents, and access government services anytime, anywhere. No delays, no stress. Everything is instant, safe, secure, and government-backed. UG Pass, your identity secured. Available on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. UG Pass is a product of Nita Uganda.
Masaka Ju. Hawaii. Omwanzi tumuleta soka Christopher Katama. Owulira otya kati nti owangudde?
Ndi musanyufu nnyo. Tewali muzadde ayinza obutasanyuka nga bamusasulidde omwaka mulamba, so nebaza nnyo MTN okulaba nti mpangudde. Era nkubiriza abazadde mwena abali eyo, nyiga *165 *880# naawe oyinza okubeera omu mu baki mu bawanguzi.
And for those of you who pay school fees at those schools that don't use Momo, hey, mubatabukire mubagambe leta Momo wano, because you stand a chance to win a van for the school. This is the power of Momo.
Minister of State for Environment designate Beatrice Atim Anywa vows to crack down on persons involved in environmental degradation, with wetlands encroachment topping the list. She made the remarks shortly after being vetted by Parliament.
Day 2 of Parliament's vetting of the newly appointed cabinet has concluded, with all but one nominee appearing before the Appointments Committee. Among those vetted was Beatrice Atim Anywa, reappointed as Minister of State for Environment. Popularly known as Mama Mabira, Anywa said her reappointment reflects continued confidence and trust in her service.
I want to thank God and the appointing authority for retaining me in the same docket. This is the third appointment in the same docket. And when I interacted with the committee, it's good that most of them are almost colleagues. If they are not colleagues, they are the environmentalists who have been with me, silent admirers. So I was happy that I met partners whom we shall work with. And there was no much questions that were raised because they know my work. As far as environmental activism is concerned, or passion for that matter, you don't question.
Addressing the media after her vetting, Anywa vowed to pick up from where she left off in the previous cabinet and deal decisively with perpetrators of environmental degradation, especially those encroaching on wetlands.
We have a gazette. There's already a wetland gazette which we have. The atlas is there. Please make an effort and come and look at it. The boundaries are physical. We are only adding pillars, but the big boundary should be in the mindset of Ugandan. How did our forefathers protect this environment without it having been gazetted? Because they would know this is where the wetland is, this is where the forest is, and they don't go there. But now, people who want to steal wetland land and the forest are the ones who are asking, where is the boundary? We don't see it. You must know that this is the wetland and this is the forest. Don't go there.
Her stance was backed by the Minister of State for Investment and Privatization, Hajat Amina Mukalazi, who said investors must comply with environmental laws.
Like you know, in ministries, you don't work alone. We shall work with the line ministry in charge of NEMA so that it doesn't happen again, because these wetlands have caused floods to our people because the investors are in wetlands. So we shall allocate land that is not in wetland, because even if you put up a plant in a wetland, it also disturbs the investor. So it is something that we are going to work on and make sure that investors don't spoil our environment.
Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Urban Development, Margaret Muhanga, has revealed that significant resources will continue being channeled towards beautifying cities and municipalities, urging Ugandans to supplement government efforts.
People need to, like, you're earning rent, you need also to make your building beautiful. If government has planted a tree in front of your building, just keep it, water it, and let it blossom. Because most cities, you look at the trees outside there and see the beauty they bring. But here, instead of keeping the trees, we break them. We plant flowers, government plants flowers, but people walk through them. So government has got to put barbed wire around flowers. It looks ridiculous. I've seen it around Ginger Road. Like, these are human beings and adults. Why are they stepping in the flowers?
After their successful vetting, these nominees now await approval and later swearing in before they can fully take on their respective roles, especially as regards to enforcement of environmental and urban cleanliness laws. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
The Ministry of Health has appealed to all health workers to keep caution as they play their role in preventing Ebola. But moving on with more news, as the world looks ahead to the annual Matters Day celebrations and prayers held every 3rd of June Preparations for this year's commemoration are taking a different course from the previous years. At the Uganda Matters Catholic Shrine in Namugongo, preparations for the celebrations have taken a different shape. According to the parish priest there, Reverend Father Vincent Lubega, attendance inside the basilica will be limited, with only 400 faithfuls allowed to participate in Mass, while the rest will follow the liturgy from designated parish areas. Father Lubega outlined the arrangements for a smooth and commemoration.
As the countdown to Martyrs' Day enters its final hours, it's unusual this time as limited pilgrims and worshippers continue to gather at Namugongo Martyrs' Shrine to commemorate the Uganda martyrs and honor their sacrifice for their Christian faith. This follows the cancellation of the international and national Martyrs' Day prayers following the outbreak of the Ebola, prompting authorities and organizers to scale down this year's commemorations. With Martyrs' Day set for tomorrow, we've been following preparations closely to find out what special arrangements have been put in place to enable the faithful to participate in the commemoration. Our coverage begins on the streets leading to Namugongo, where no arrivals of pilgrims were witnessed compared to past years. Along the Terekakira Road, a route that is traditionally busy with the pilgrims making their way to Namugongo, there were few signs of the usual Martyrs' Day activity. The procession of pilgrims, often seen walking in groups, singing, beating drums, as the journey to the shrine was noticeably absent, while traffic continued to flow normally. We proceeded to the only entrance that remained open to the public. At this point, all visitors underwent the required screening procedures, including temperature checks and sanitizing, before being allowed into the premises amidst questioning. Inside the shrine, disinfecting of the premises was part of the preventive measures put in place for the celebrations, as a small number of worshippers, including pilgrims who had already arrived at the shrine, attended the Mass. After the Mass, the parish priest of Uganda Martyrs Catholic Parish outlined the arrangements and program for tomorrow's Martyrs' Day commemoration.
Tomorrow is the 3rd of June. Normally, in normal circumstances, that's when pilgrims are gathered in Namugongo in big numbers. But this time, there is no national and international celebration in Namugongo. So the pilgrims are not going to gather. We are doing this because we are guided by His Excellency the President of Uganda.
Father Lubega revealed that there will not be national and international prayers as guided by the Episcopal Conference.
There is no national and international celebration in Namugongo. The Episcopal Conference of Uganda further guided that all the faithful should meet in their respective parishes and sub-parishes to pray there. And I invite all the faithful in Uganda and beyond to stay in their parishes and sub-parishes and pray there. This is to avoid contact and the spread of the pandemic.
As an established parish, Namugongo Martyrs' Shrine Parish will hold several masses throughout the day.
In Namugongo, we also have a parish with sub-parishes. We shall have services in all the sub-parishes, and the program has been made, which means we don't expect big numbers to gather here at Namugongo. We don't have any national celebration.
However, the lakeside, which serves as the main service area, usually hosting large congregations during Martyrs' Day, will remain largely empty this year. We also spoke to some of the pilgrims we encountered at the shrine, many of whom expressed surprise at this year's arrangements.
By this time, this place would be full to capacity. Actually, you don't even know how you reach the church. But today, even don't know what to say. The place is just free. Even anybody can come and walk as they want and go.
In the past, even if we are parishioners, by now we would have come here already like 3 days ago. The place would be crowded, but because of the Ebola, we are just like this, whereby the president has directed us to be like this to avoid the transmission of Ebola.
So here it is not like the usual times, those days when we would come and people are many, and by this time entering here was always a tug of war. Even when I'm a parishioner, I had to sleep here 3 days prior to the Martyrs' Day. But today there are no people. Even as you come in, security is tight. They take the temperature.
However, some of the pilgrims expressed a confidence and hope, saying they believe in the intercession of the Uganda Martyrs during this period of the Ebola outbreak. Outside the shrine, the atmosphere was noticeably subdued, with the business activity far quieter than what is typically seen during Martyrs' Day preparations.
Food is in very high gear, always. Everybody, the traders, the music, everything. People would now be, even the roads from Chireka now would be full to capacity, closed already by yesterday, that cars cannot pass.
We've learned that a series of masses will be celebrated throughout the day, beginning at 6:30 a.m. and continuing into the evening. Each service will be limited to a maximum of 400 faithful, despite the church having a much larger seating capacity. Amwa Evanjuko and Stephen Kalisia for UBC.
Pilgrims who insisted and made it to Namugongo Martyrs site in Kampala have been turned away and blocked from tomorrow's Martyrs Day celebrations. The Archdeacon of the Namugongo Anglican site, Reverend Michael Waswa Saintamu, says that the celebrations have been virtually organized due to the Ebola outbreak.
Held at the Novotel Hotel in Hammersmith, the event attracted more than 300 guests and was organized under the theme African Solidarity and Heritage. The celebration was chaired by Zimbabwe's ambassador to the UK, His Excellency retired Colonel Christian Kasande.
If you use your grandma's garden, under grandma's garden, you have one.
The Uganda
With only few hours to June 3rd, the Martyrs' Day celebrations, the Martyrs site at Namugongo Anglican site appears unusual as compared to the previous celebrations. The gate closed and opens for a few. The previously crowded Martyrs Museum is empty. The compound lacks visibility of humans.
So I didn't have a chance of hearing on the radio or on TV. So someone told me with a phone.
Reverend Moses Arnaitwe, who stubbornly made it to Namugongo from Western Kole Diocese in Buseni, was turned away.
So for us, since we have to respect government, the Minister of Health and the security, for the well-being of all of us, we advise that person, in case he's around, to go at the police to wait for the medical people to come. Me, I'm not a medical people.
But someone told me, because I didn't hear on the radio, I was busy some time back preparing to come, so I didn't have a chance of hearing on the radio or on TV. So someone told me with a phone that the celebrations the service of celebrations was stopped, especially for those who were going for pilgrimage.
Although at amphitheater there is some preparations ongoing, it's only for 200 people cleared by government to celebrate the day virtually.
And there are standard operating procedures which we agreed on. Right now, even though right now you enter the gate, they must first check you and they give you sanitizer. But for tomorrow, it will be more enhanced. At every station, you'll find sanitizers placed there. We also have the other equipment they are going to give us to check people's temperatures.
not all the people will be having the access to this place where the Matters Day celebrations are going to take place on the 3rd of June this year, which is tomorrow. The information so far we have got from governments through the Ministry of Health and also through the organizers for the celebration and the organizers for this year's Matters Day celebration, Uganda Christian University, is only 200 people, pilgrims, will be allowed to access this place at the Anglican Matters place.
Purposes of safety of our congregants, the 200, they definitely include the delegates we invited, the clergy, the choir from Uganda Christian University, and the clergy, and a few bishops.
Christians have also been urged to celebrate the Matters Day celebrations at parish level or on television.
Tomorrow, the university, through its chaplaincy, developed a special liturgy which we are going to follow across the province of the Church of Uganda. This liturgy is going to be shared to all clergies across the province so that we follow one liturgy.
The Matters Day, though will be virtually celebrated, is on the theme Christ is our peace, breaking the walls and healing the nation. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Namugongo.
Uganda's rich culture, tourism potential and export products took center stage in London as the Uganda High Commission joined fellow African diplomatic missions to celebrate Africa Day.
Held at the Novotel Hotel in Hammersmith, the event attracted more than 300 guests and was organized under the theme African Solidarity and Heritage. The celebration was chaired by Zimbabwe's ambassador to the UK, His Excellency retired Colonel Christian Kasande.
If you use a grandma's garden, under grandma's garden, you have one.
The Ugandan exhibition stall emerged as one of the most popular attractions at the event, offering visitors a unique glimpse into the Pearl of Africa.
Fruits, the mangoes, all these are found in the markets around the UK now. And we have macadamia, which is one of the things we are now growing in Uganda. We have quite a number of things, the fruits and other things. And with us, we're showcasing the wildlife, the fauna and the flora of Uganda.
A major highlight was an artistic display inspired by Uganda's mountain gorillas and the breathtaking landscapes of Gahinga, capturing the attention of guests and showcasing the country's natural beauty.
You know, Winston Churchill went and visited Africa. On his return, he told Her Majesty the Queen that, Your Majesty, I traversed the whole of Africa and I found Uganda is indeed a pearl of Africa for the fauna, the flora, the wildlife, the vegetation. It is indeed a pearl of Africa. I call it a small world in a jar. So we have with us the Magahinga forest showcased right in here, where everybody is moving to see the wonders of the world in this small place.
Visitors also sampled a variety of Ugandan products already available in the UK market, with Grandma's garden dried fruits receiving strong praise, while Africaba dried jackfruit proved to be the crowd favorite, and Kapeka sweet pineapple attracted positive reviews. Uganda's beverages made an equally strong impression as guests enjoyed Kachera gin and rum, alongside different flavors of Uganda Waragi, with the lemon and ginger varieties emerging as the most popular.
We brought the entire Magahinga impenetrable forest with a Businje family of gorilla, a family of 15, and there we are. The world is surprised, and we are happy to showcase the Pearl of Africa. We are talking about the products. Here we are with a gin, very famous gin, and one of the world's best gin anyway, Uganda Waragi. And then we have with us the Kachira gin, which is made from sugarcane.
Adding color to the celebrations, the Uganda High Commission showcased traditional Karamojong attire on the international runway. The vibrant bearded garments generated significant interest, with many guests expressing a desire to visit Karamoja and experience its unique culture firsthand. Uganda's participation highlighted its commitment to promoting tourism, trade and cultural diplomacy in the UK, while strengthening ties and showcasing the country's diverse heritage to the world.
Government and Germany will pilot a renewable biogas project in government-aided schools to reduce expenditure on firewood and fuel. Government of Germany is to spend over 5 billion shillings beginning with schools of Mubende Municipal Council.
This was disclosed by the president of Gießen County in Germany, Anita Schneider, during the Innovation Biogas Utilization Conference at International University of East Africa in Kansanga.
Very proud to be with you at the International University of East African, and I'm glad that here the conference for biogas for everyone is implemented. It's not only a conference, it's a message, biogas for everyone.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Water and Environment, Alfredo Kot Okedi, said focus should be on the information obtained to change the environment. Ugandans should start turning waste into wealth.
And this is one of the strategies that government of Uganda has put in place for institutions and municipalities to embrace the alternative waste management and entropy through biogas. Biogas is not only energy saving, it is only elimination of pollution, but also creates opportunity for generation of carbon credits that municipalities and individuals can benefit from.
The mayor of Mubende Municipality, Innocent Sekizivu, said the project will assist many government schools to save funds on energy.
I think it's high time for the government to rethink towards this direction, because we are seeing that we are going to save a lot of resources from our schools. Our schools rate high fees because of the various activities in done and which requires a lot of money.
A, you get the waste out of the cities. 2, you get power, either electricity or biogas for cooking. And 3, you generate some fertilizers as well.
One of the key elements is the impact that they're making, also the communities and the environment. So all these are key elements in this whole agenda.
It will be great if you can do so. Now the challenge is to prepare a model satisfactory.
The CEC Vice Chairperson for Karamoja sub-region in the NRM, John Baptist Loki, has advised the leaders and locals in Busoga to embrace unity in order to tap government programs for economic transformation. He was at the Busede sub-county headquarters during a Thanksgiving ceremony for the Woman MP Jinja District, Peace Tibiase.
The needs and aspirations of the people of Jinja. Because if you don't work with your leaders, you will not achieve anything from the government. So you have to work together as leaders. No religion, no politics. You work for the people of Busoga, work for the people of Jinja. The NRM government is a government that listens to the problems of the people of Uganda. All your priorities are captured in the plans of the sub-county, in the district, in the municipality, and they will be funded so that there is service delivery for the people of Busoga. And I want to thank you, before I close, I want to thank you for voting President Yoweri Museveni in the recent presidential election.
Honorable Daudi Migereko bakola bulungi era mwabawa emyaka emingi nze nambasaba nti mwebena mwida kolaki mwida kusalawo saawa dino tutwenda kulowooza kubira ebindi aye ate mwidi nti ndi muwayi mulungi nsobola okweya nimmwe era nsobola okukola lwa nsonga mwakimbonamu era nsaba
that she was able to stand, to be nominated, be voted, the votes were counted, and she was declared a winner. So we congratulate her. And I mean, because in the recent election, there has been a lot of discussions regarding the nomination, the voting, and so we have to congratulate her for that.
The Club of Kongerukuli and Abacus Medical Group have commissioned a $US oxygen plant worth $34,000 at Hope Clinic, Kongerukuli.
Hope Clinic Kongelukuli serves more than 4,000 patients from Machinde Division and surrounding communities, Gabaland Inside and nearby islands. There are emerging respiratory cases that require response to strength emergency and respiratory care services. Rotary Club of Kongelukuli and Abacus Medical Group have commissioned a $34,000 oxygen plant to improve health service delivery.
Putting in something that is under maternal and child health. Maternal and child health, looking at oxygen for life. For me, that I would like to commend the partnership that they chose. I know together we are going to impact more and we are going to change the world.
Benefit majority, mothers, children, and whoever would want this oxygen for free. You know, we breathe oxygen outside, where we are standing, we are breathing, but in case you develop that kind of difficulty, the Hope Clinic will be at your service to provide you with free oxygen.
The facility is expected to ease access to oxygen, reduce referrals, and save lives, especially among children, mothers, and critical ill patients.
That there was no any oxygen facility nearby, and Hope Clinic had to refer emergency cases to nearby hospitals like in Zambia, IHK, which the local community could not afford.
Think of the people who could just die here just for a simple reason that they missed oxygen for 7 to 10 minutes, and by the time they were being transferred to another facility with oxygen, they were already dead. So to think the impact this will have on the community through the vision you had is something I cannot see as an understatement.
The partnerships between the private sector and service organizations are vital in addressing healthcare gaps and improving patient outcome.
You see in many places the organizations start, grow and die themselves. But whereas this kind of activity as a Rotary or any other NGO organization to live forever, the motto should be good and the principles should be good and service to the community is the best.
Patients sought oxygen services from distant facilities. Health workers said the oxygen plant will improve capacity to respond to emergencies.
Realizing that there are some gaps, they have been able to come together to mobilize resources and look after Ugandans.
It represents hope, compassion, and commitment to the well-being of our people.
Susanna Bugude for UBC News.
The Bishop, Busoga Diocese, Right Reverend Grace Lubale, has tasked Mothers Union to promote the restoration of good morals in the family among the people of Busoga region.
People have left the church, people are not being filled by the Holy Spirit, people are very empty, people don't consider others as human beings. Human consideration, divine intervention, prayer, seeing people as human beings, working together, cooperating. When we are short of this, there is little you can do. So the gathering of today is to encourage and empower mothers and fathers.
So I beg the community to come up and we look into these issues and we come up to help the youth who are getting pregnant every day, who are stealing, who are taking drugs. All this is because of the family. So we should go back to our families because it is a fasting community where children have to be raised properly. our children together as a family.
They share an office. Some work in the day, some at night. What they have in common: focus, dedication. That's what makes them champions. They also share something else: the reward of being one. The official beer of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
Colgate Charcoal Gentle Clean cleans and polishes teeth for a whiter smile and a naturally fresh and clean mouth. Choose natural. Choose Colgate Charcoal.
Uganda's private sector is concerned over misleading reporting on the Ebola situation in the region, warning that inaccurate information will affect tourism, trade, and investor confidence. The Director of Policy, Research and Advocacy at the Private Sector Foundation, Dr. Julius Beruhanga, says that the concerns follow a report by the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that cited more than 260 Ebola cases across affected countries in the region.
The Director of Policy, Research and Advocacy at the Private Sector Foundation Uganda, Dr. Julius Beruhanga, says the reporting on Ebola cases has created a distorted perception of Uganda's public health situation and poses a direct threat to economic activity.
There was a statement that was maliciously put out by Africa Center for Disease Control and was captured by international media, including Al Jazeera and others, combining the Republic of Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo in terms of reported cases of Ebola. This is condemned with the strongest terms, especially by the private sector of Uganda.
Dr. Beruhanga argues that while the regional tally exceeded 260 cases, aggregating the figures unfairly amplifies the perceived risk associated with the country.
It's malicious, and we believe probably it's meant to damage our tourism sector, which, as we speak now, is at the peak season. And unfortunately, we have gotten already some cases of cancellations by tourists. But we want to assure our private sector players, our visitors from all over the world, that Uganda is safe.
The private sector umbrella body says the impact is already being felt, particularly in the tourism industry, where some international visitors have reportedly cancelled planned trips.
Tour operators, hotels are already experiencing cancellations, and this is really negatively impacting the tourism and hospitality business. And this is despite the fact that Uganda's health system is very resilient.
PSFU is now calling on the Ministry of Health, the World Health Organization, and other relevant agencies and authorities to provide clearer communication on country-specific Ebola statistics to prevent further economic damage.
I think the Ministry of Health hasn't come out strongly, though they have put out information on statistics, but I think they need also to counter this misinformation, and we call upon the PS, who I believe now is the acting minister until the new minister comes into office, needs to come out clearly to clarify on this misinformation.
Dennis Igoa for UBC.
The Fortbet Real Star Sports Monthly Awards for May have climaxed with 4 athletes rewarded for their toil.
Since 2018, the Fortbet Real Star Sports Monthly Awards have been held at Nanjing Restaurant in Kampala. These ones were for those that excelled in the month of May and rewarded 4 athletes. Goal shooter Kango Namurumba was the best in netball after helping Prisons Netball Club win the East Africa Netball Championship in Kenya.
I feel good and blessed to be the winner of this accolade. I think it is God that has made me win, because it is just my comeback.
For excellence at the Africa Junior Chess Championship Under-16 category in Entebbe, Alvin Muhirwa bettered all his colleagues.
As Uganda, we are happy. Actually, we got 3 golds, but this was one of the hardest, and that's why he's the winner.
Title ya manyi kunze kubanga title gyenjagala ya GM naye nina FM.
Peruth Chemutai was immense at the Diamond League in China, where she beat reigning world champion Winnie Yavi in 8 minutes 51 seconds and 6 sub-seconds to win the steeplechase event. The football gong was won by Alan Okello, who scored 7 goals to keep his Younger Africans Football Club within touching distance of the NBC Premier League in Tanzania. The Fortebet Real Star Sports Monthly Awards continue to inspire many athletes that quietly work hard with knowledge that someone technical is watching.
As that discipline, because she went and won that. You know, she had taken time without winning. Remember that gold medal from the Olympics. How many years have now gone? But at least she came back, even if she had some challenges like the injuries, but she went and won that gold. So she beat everybody, including the superstars who were there. So we had to look into her. Unfortunately, we are not with her this time around. She wasn't around the country.
And that brings us to the end of all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Minaka Kuni and the whole team. Wish you the best of the night. Bye-bye.